This man is an utter disgrace, a shocking example of how out of touch leadership can be. During a recent interaction in London, Sadiq Khan was directly questioned about grooming gangs, a serious and deeply troubling issue that has plagued communities across the UK. His response? Truly unbelievable. Instead of addressing the matter head-on, he pretended not to understand what the term even meant, leaving everyone stunned. It's hard to fathom how someone in his position, entrusted with the safety and well-being of millions, could display such ignorance, or worse, such intentional evasion. And yet, this is the man who has been knighted, celebrated, and elevated. Absolutely pathetic. Today, we'll delve into this jaw-dropping exchange, analyzing the clip that has everyone talking, and discussing the latest news from across the country. But before we jump in, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to become part of our fast-growing community.
I asked you this question last week and you found every which way but not to answer it. Just how many grooming gangs have we got in London?
To avoid any misunderstanding, can she define what she means by that?
Yes, if you look at what's gone on in Rotherham, where there are people taking young girls, grooming them for sex, that is what I'm talking about.
We know in London there are issues about exploitation of young people, but they're not as defined by the member in her definition of what those types of gangs are.
So are you saying we haven't got the same sort of gangs that are in Rotherham, Bradford and lots of other places in the country?
Just for what's a misunderstanding, what does she mean by that?
You know full well what I mean by that. It's all over the television. You know exactly what I mean by that. These gangs of people that are grooming young girls for sex. Do we actually have those in London?
Today, I'm unclear, Chair, what is meant by the question. If you could spell it out, I can answer.
I've just spelt it out. Are you not listening? It's the sort of gangs that groom young girls at a young age for sex. Exactly how much clearer do you want me to be?
In other news, Plymouth City Council has earned the dubious distinction of being England's worst-performing local authority when it comes to road repairs. Recent analysis of Department for Transport data has revealed an alarming truth. Out of the 13.6 miles of road that urgently need maintenance in Plymouth, the council has managed to repair just 1 mile. That equates to a meager 0.7% of the total, leaving more than a quarter of the city's road network in dire need of attention. These shocking figures paint a picture of neglect and inefficiency, sparking outrage among residents who have long endured crumbling streets and a lack of accountability. Local motorists are feeling the brunt of the council's shortcomings. Chloe, a Plymouth resident, told The Telegraph about her recurring frustrations. Whenever I get my car checked, there's always something up with my suspension because of the potholes. This sentiment echoes across the city, where many drivers are forced to spend hundreds, sometimes thousands, of pounds on car repairs caused by poor road conditions. The problem isn't just an inconvenience, it's a costly burden for individuals and families who rely on their vehicles for work, school runs, and daily life. Residents have been vocal about the issue, with many reporting the dismal state of their streets as far back as 2023. However, despite repeated complaints and formal flagging of the worst areas, little has changed. On Durham Avenue, a steep residential street in St. Jude's, the situation is particularly dire. Reports from The Telegraph revealed a staggering 15 potholes within just a 25-metre stretch, averaging 1.6 potholes per metre. For residents, this isn't just an eyesore, it's a safety hazard. They have expressed frustration over the lack of action, saying that navigating their own neighbourhoods feels like an obstacle course. Cody, another local resident, remarked, "The council doesn't come out and fix them, even though it was flagged a year ago. Nothing's changed." Cyclists, too, are grappling with the consequences of Plymouth's failing infrastructure. Dave Allen, a cyclist who has lived on St. Martin's Avenue since 2015, shared his concerns. "They're everywhere, and it's rubbish for cyclists like myself. Potholes pose significant risks for those on two wheels, with some cyclists reporting near accidents caused by suddenly hitting an unexpected hole. The lack of smooth, safe roads undermines the city's efforts to promote cycling as a sustainable alternative to driving, leaving residents like Dave feeling unsupported and vulnerable. For some businesses, the pothole crisis has created an unintended but frustrating influx of work. Stadium Garage, located in Pennock Cross, reports that they repair up to 8 vehicles per week due to damage caused by potholes. Mechanic Isaac Lee shared, "Customers are always blaming potholes when they come in. Their cars are falling apart at the seams." Common issues include punctures, cracked alloy wheels, and problems with link pins and coil springs. While this may keep garages busy, it's hardly a silver lining for the people who bear the financial strain of constant vehicle repairs. The council's response to the criticism has been mixed, with officials quick to shift blame to their predecessors. A spokesperson for the Labour-controlled council, which has been in power since 2023, defended their record by stating that the Department for Transport statistics do not reflect the true situation on the ground. They accused the previous Conservative administration of cutting highways budgets, which they claim has left them scrambling to address years of neglect. However, these excuses are cold comfort to residents who continue to deal with the day-to-day consequences of deteriorating infrastructure. Interestingly, the council has pointed to one area where they believe they are outperforming national averages. According to their data, just 2% of classified A roads in Plymouth require repairs, compared to the national average of 4%. While this may seem like a positive note, critics argue that focusing on these statistics ignores the reality faced by residents in less prominent areas of the city. After all, it's the residential streets and smaller roads, used by the majority of locals, that are in the worst shape. In an effort to combat the growing backlash, Plymouth City Council has announced plans to trial a new velocity machine for road repairs. This innovative method promises to deliver permanent fixes at a fraction of the cost, with no excavation, no waste, and no heat involved. The council claims this technology could revolutionize their approach to pothole repair, allowing them to cover more ground with their limited budget. However, whether this pilot program will result in meaningful change remains to be seen. The government has also stepped in, announcing in December that Plymouth will receive an additional £1.75 million this year to tackle potholes. While this funding injection is welcome, critics argue that it's merely a drop in the ocean compared to what's truly needed to bring the city's roads up to standard. Moreover, there are concerns about how effectively the council will allocate these funds, given their track record of slow progress and missed opportunities. The impact of Plymouth's crumbling roads goes beyond inconvenience and financial strain. For families, it's a daily frustration. Jean Alliston, a resident of Tor Avenue, shared how the potholes have become a fixture in her young child's life. "My 2-year-old always says it's a bit bumpy whenever we leave in the car. I'm not really surprised that Plymouth is the worst at repairing potholes. Plymouth seems to be behind other councils on a whole range of things." Her words highlight a broader sentiment among locals that the city's challenges extend far beyond road repairs, reflecting deeper systemic issues within the council's management. As residents continue to voice their dissatisfaction, the pressure is mounting on Plymouth City Council to deliver tangible results. Whether through new technology, increased funding, or better prioritization of resources, one thing is clear: the status quo is no longer acceptable. The people of Plymouth deserve roads that are safe, functional, and reflective of a city that values its community. Until then, the pothole crisis will remain a glaring symbol of the council's failure to meet the needs of its citizens. Prince Harry finds himself at the center of yet another storm as controversy continues to surround his life in the United States. The Duke of Sussex, alongside Meghan Markle, issued a scathing statement condemning Meta for its decision to abandon its fact-checking program. The couple accused the social media giant of prioritizing ego and profit over public responsibility, suggesting that the move would have significant consequences for billions of users. This bold statement has not only reignited debate around the couple's public persona but has also drawn scrutiny to Harry's personal and legal circumstances in the US. The controversy deepened when Niall Gardner, director of the Margaret Thatcher Centre for Freedom, publicly declared his intent to urge former President Donald Trump to take action against Harry. Gardner stated that if evidence were to surface proving that Harry had lied on his US immigration paperwork, deportation should follow as a matter of principle and transparency. His remarks have sparked significant discussion, with some viewing them as a politically motivated attack, while others argue they highlight important questions about the Duke's legal status in the country. Despite this pressure, a US judge ruled in September 2024 that Harry's visa application will remain private, shielding the details of his immigration process from public scrutiny. This decision was a relief for the Sussexes, who have faced relentless media attention and criticism since their departure from royal duties. However, it also left lingering doubts for critics who believe that transparency is essential, especially for a public figure of Harry's stature. The ruling has done little to quell speculation, and the couple's strong stance against Meta has only added fuel to the fire. The Sussexes' statement, published on their website sussex.edu, accused Meta of allowing misinformation to spread unchecked, framing the company's decision to end its fact-checking program as reckless and harmful. This is a decision guided by either ego or profit, likely both, the statement read. Critics of the couple, however, saw their comments as hypocritical, pointing out their own contentious relationship with the media and the public. Harry and Meghan's critics have frequently accused them of leveraging their fame for commercial gain while simultaneously demanding privacy and protection from scrutiny. The broader implications of Harry's legal status have become a lightning rod for debate. Immigration law experts and political commentators have weighed in, questioning the precedent set by the judge's decision to protect his visa details. For Gardner and his supporters, this secrecy undermines trust, especially given Harry's highly publicized political commentary since moving to the US. Many argue that Harry's involvement in American politics, including his recent advocacy for stricter regulations on social media platforms, opens him up to greater accountability regarding his legal right to reside in the country. Meanwhile, the Sussexes' critics have used the controversy to question Harry's authenticity as an advocate for social justice. By targeting Meta and its policies, Harry and Meghan positioned themselves as defenders of truth in the digital age, but their critics have dismissed this as performative. They argue that their high-profile lifestyle and lucrative partnerships, including deals with Netflix and Spotify, contradict their claims of being voices for the voiceless. For some, the couple's actions appear to be more about maintaining their relevance than addressing systemic issues. The fallout from this situation also reflects the ongoing polarization surrounding the Sussexes. Since stepping down as senior royals, Harry and Meghan have become divisive figures, celebrated by some as trailblazers who broke free from the constraints of tradition, while others view them as opportunists capitalizing on their royal connections. This latest controversy underscores how their every move continues to spark debate, further cementing their place as one of the most talked about couples in modern media. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the backdrop of Harry and Meghan's strained relationship with the British royal family. Their departure from royal duties and subsequent interviews, including the explosive Oprah Winfrey special, revealed deep rifts within the monarchy. Critics have speculated that Harry's ongoing challenges in the US, from visa scrutiny to public backlash, might prompt him to re-evaluate his position. However, there are no signs that the Sussexes plan to alter their course. On the contrary, their latest statement against Meta suggests a determination to remain outspoken, regardless of the consequences. On social media, public reaction to the controversy has been mixed. Supporters of the Sussexes have defended their stance against Meta, praising them for speaking out against the spread of misinformation. These fans argue that Harry and Meghan's advocacy is an extension of their commitment to creating a better world for their children. However, critics have been less forgiving, with many accusing the couple of hypocrisy and opportunism. Some have called for greater transparency regarding Harry's visa status, framing it as a matter of fairness and accountability. The broader implications of this situation also raise questions about the intersection of fame, politics, and immigration. Harry's case highlights how public figures often navigate different rules and expectations compared to ordinary citizens. While some see this as a natural consequence of his unique position, others argue it underscores systemic inequalities that favor the wealthy and well-connected. This debate has become emblematic of the challenges facing modern society, where issues of privilege, transparency, and accountability frequently collide. As Harry and Meghan continue to make headlines, it remains unclear how this latest controversy will impact their long-term narrative. For now, the couple appears resolute, using their platform to advocate for causes they believe in, despite the mounting criticism. Whether this approach will ultimately strengthen their legacy or further alienate them from the public remains to be seen. What is clear, however, is that Prince Harry's journey in the United States is far from over, and his actions will continue to be closely scrutinized by supporters and detractors alike. For those following this saga, the situation serves as a stark reminder of how complex life in the public eye can be. It also raises important questions about the responsibilities of high-profile individuals, particularly when their actions have far-reaching implications. As the debate continues, one thing is certain: Prince Harry and Meghan Markle remain at the center of the cultural conversation, embodying both the possibilities and the challenges of life beyond the royal fold.